Warning: the following may contain black puddings.
Join fantasy authors Phil Tucker, Timandra Whitecastle, David Benem, Benedict Patrick, and Josiah Bancroft as they roll dice and take on the bad guys in a game of Dungeons and Dragons. 5 authors, 5 worlds, 1 adventure. It's time to get crit-faced.
Previously on Crit-Faced, upon reaching the ruined town of Berez, home of the mysterious Baba Lysaga, Lord Talfrin announces his arrival by throwing a fireball at a nearby stationary scarecrow.
So if everyone would like to, roll for initiative.
Here we go.
Okay, Lord Talfrin, what did you get?
I'm sorry, I'm behind the game here. I have a 9 plus a 10 total.
Okay. Master Sunna?
20.
Sorry? At 20?
Yes.
Okay. Jean?
7.
And Kellen?
11.
Okay. So this is the order. It's going to be Master Sunna, Kellen, Lord Talfrin, Jean, and then the Scarecrows. However, we're going to give Lord Talfrin a surprise round before we begin combat because he initiated with his firebolt. So well, let's roll the firebolt then. Let's find out what happens.
All right. Let's see. So I hit on a 19 plus 25.
Okay, 25 will definitely hit. Do you want to roll your damage?
Yep. That is 17 damage.
17 damage, and these guys are vulnerable to fire, so we're actually doubling that. So the creature ignites as you expected to, reacts exactly the same way as the other guys, and actually most of the Hessian sack that is roped together into the shape of this humanoid burns off as soon as your firebolt comes into contact with it. But actually the structure that's underneath it just seems to be this hay and mixture of hay and twigs and feathers continues just to move and stagger toward you. Although you have dealt a considerable amount of damage to it, it continues to maneuver, and you can actually see the other 2 scarecrows that are in view as well. These guys, the next closest is 200 feet away, and the one after that is about 250. They are starting to move as well on reaction to you setting a light. No noise coming from them at all. But now, top of the round, it's Master Sunna.
Can I ask a quick question, Benedict? Yes. Did that amount of damage take care of the ones we ran into in the woods before? Is this one exceptionally strong? I don't remember.
You don't get the impression that it's any different.
Okay.
It seems to be very similar to the reaction you had earlier. So, Master Sunna, you are 150 feet away from this burning scarecrow. What's your plan?
I mean, I'm very fast, so I could run and tackle it, but I'll try a sunbolt before it gets too close.
Okay, what's your range? What's the range of your sunbolt?
I don't know.
Neither do I.
Enough to hit the scarecrow.
Yes, of course. Full blast.
I mean, I totally didn't expect an answer like that, guys. My goodness. The trust
keeping
here,
you on your toes.
The trust here. The way at the sun soared. It's on page 35. Does anyone want to take any bets? 150 feet. There we go.
Perfect. Then I'll do that.
Wait a minute. Sorry, I'm looking at your 11th level. It's 30 feet for your Radiant Sunbolt.
Oh, and Benedict, I was looking at Fireball earlier that has 150. The Firebolt has 120, so you were right the first time.
Let's just remember that from here on out, and also
we've all edged a little closer.
Yes, so there we go. We're 120 feet, but you'll need to close a considerable gap. You're 90 feet, which you could do, couldn't you?
I can't. I'm pretty fast, so I think I have a movement speed of 60. So dash forward and rub my hands gleefully together.
Well, if you dash, so you've got your 60, but if you dash, that would be using up your action as well. If you want to go any further than that 60 with a dash action. Do you have other stuff that lets you go faster as well? As a supersonic monk, can you do?
Could she hold an action?
Step of the wind, where I have like 1 chi point. Spend 1 chi point to take the disengage or dash action as a bonus action on your turn.
So that's it. You could dash with your step
And
of the wind,
your
and
jump
then
distance is doubled for the turn.
So you could do that,
You could just like do like a
and then do a Hadouken.
exactly. That's my plan.
Okay, go for it.
Okay.
So dash forward. You're 90 feet. As far away as you need to be. Is that right?
What do we say? Yeah. 60. Yep.
Yeah.
90 feet.
So 90 feet. So you're now 30 feet away from this burning carcass of a scarecrow. And then
Is it?
Sorry.
Let's get these numbers straight, Mr. DM. So,
Yes.
150 feet away.
Well, no, we're 120 feet away. You began.
So, okay. Then that's like 40. So I'm still 40 feet away.
But were you not using your chi point to take a dash action?
Yes.
So that could potentially double your movement. So you could actually go all the way up to 120 feet if you wanted. So you could actually get into hand-to-hand combat with it if you wished.
But then how far away are the other two
So
scarecrow
the
things?
other scarecrows are the closest one is 200 feet from where you are now. So if you got into hand-to-hand combat with the burning remains of this scarecrow, you'd be another 80 feet away from the next one.
The other ones.
Yeah.
Well, I'll do that then.
Okay. So you're just...
So I'll just rush into his face,
Yep.
hands stretched out, and just go like, by the power of the Morning Lord.
Okay. And are you attacking?
Yes.
Go for it.
19.
19 will definitely hit. Do you want to describe this thing's death?
White, bright light shines, bursts forth from my hands straight into his face, and it's sort of like there's a... He doesn't have a face anymore, does he?
No.
But then into the twigs, and they sort of like... there's like a nuclear blast, and just like blasted to smithereens.
What does Step of the Wind look like? I think it's our first time seeing that.
Well, good question. I've watched far too few ninja movies for these kind of things. I don't know. So, sort of like we'll do the anime where they sort of like they pull up their one leg and ready themselves to move, and then whoosh, they're in the other. They're already a mile away.
Excellent.
Yes, Roadrunner-esque.
Brilliant. Is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
Excellent. Kellen, you've just seen this scarecrow in front of you be set on fire and then destroyed in a minor radiant explosion. What's your plan?
I guess I'm going to just use my action to dash toward the next closest one.
Okay, so what's your normal movement speed?
40.
40 feet. So you managed to dash 80 feet. So you are still 40 feet away from Master Sunna. So you're still quite a distance away. So that means you are 160 feet away from... no, I'm wrong. 100 and... Rats. I've lost my numbers. 120 feet away from the next closest scarecrow. So still quite a distance away.
Okay.
And that's you? You've dashed and that's it?
That's it.
Okay.
That's my...
Lord Talfrin?
I see both my comrades just disappear from before us and become specks in the distance. And the other two scarecrows are honing in on us. Right?
Well, they've definitely, as soon as their colleague was set ablaze, you could see them start to move. So they are reacting to it.
So I'm going to take a look around this dilapidated town, see if anything else has noticed us or is reacting to the death of the scarecrow, and then I'll dash us after the others as best I can.
Okay. Do you want to take a perception check then?
A 10.
Okay. You can't see a lot. There is a lot of heavy mist here. The flashing light is continuing to flash over to the southeast. It's quite a long distance, like I said, about 1,000 feet away from you guys at the moment. You are aware that Master Sunna is considerably closer to the dilapidated houses. About 50 feet to her right is where there are the first of these sort of mildewy houses are. But other than that, you don't notice any movement.
All right, so Lord Talfrin, using his cane and huffing and puffing, he charges after the others, muttering over the indignity of having to sprint like this through the muck.
And what's your max speed normally?
30?
30, so you're up beside... No, Kellen, did you say yours was 40?
Yeah, I'm 40.
Yeah, so you're 10 feet behind Kellen then. I'm
right.
getting myself very confused here. Okay, and Jean, you've seen all of this happen. What's your plan?
Well, it seems like they have it pretty well in hand, and I am feeling a little peckish. Maybe I'll go through my pack and... Now, I suppose I shall have to follow after Lord Talfrin. So, my walking speed, even though I am a much sprier young man, is 30 as well, because, I'm not what I would call, like, in wonderful shape.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, I shall huff and puff after him.
Okay, absolutely. So you huff and puff after Lord Talfrin. So at the moment, guys, we've got Jean and Lord Talfrin, and 10 feet in front of them is Kellen, and 40 feet ahead of Kellen is Master Sunna, who's just dispatched this final beast. Now 50 feet off to Master Sunna's right is the first of these mildewed houses. It's the Scarecrow's turn, and on their turn, they kind of hunch up and then sprint towards you. They are obviously dashing as well. So Master Sunna, the closest one, closes half of its distance. It is now 60 feet away from you for this first of these scarecrows. There's another scarecrow that is just over 100 feet beyond that one, and it's closing in. And actually, you notice that well beyond that, there is at least one more fourth scarecrow making a run. It sort of comes round. You can now see it to the right. To your right, it's coming out of the buildings, basically replacing where the furthest away scarecrow had been the last time. So it is still well over 200 feet away from you. However, guys, what is of much greater importance for you guys at the moment is the terrific rumbling noise that begins. And it starts for a brief moment. You feel that is just a clap of thunder somewhere in the distance, but then the ground around you begins to shake, and the stones from the buildings just off to Master Sunna's right start to tumble just with the force of this, and it seems to be affecting everywhere. The water of the river starts to become choppier, and you get the impression that it's something massive moving. Top of the round, Master Sunna, it's your turn.
Well, the good news is there's one scarecrow for all of us.
So there's now three scarecrows still in view. The closest one, Master Sunna, is 60 feet ahead of you. But it is within the clearing of the village, so obviously if you ran out to meet that, you'd get to see what's in the clearing, but obviously anything that was in the clearing would also get to see you as well.
And the houses around us are falling to pieces and stuff. So
well, it's this trembling that's coming from somewhere is powerful enough, aggressive enough to make that happen. Yeah. You don't get the impression that the trembling is coming from the buildings themselves. If that makes sense.
Is it like an earthquake, or? I
mean, it's not an earthquake because I believe you have a bit of familiarity with earthquakes, but it certainly sounds like something massive moving quite aggressively.
Okay, so it's not a natural phenomenon of the. Actually, can I do what is it then? Probably perception.
Take a survival check if you want.
Survival. Yep, I'll do that. Mm-hmm. No, I won't actually.
Yeah, you've never experienced anything like this before.
Does that count as an action? No, probably. No. Okay. Because we're having so much fun decimating scarecrows, me jump towards the next one and pretend I didn't notice the weird quaking all around us.
Okay. So would you? So you're running up to it. Yep. So as you run up to the scarecrow, you basically come round the you run past the huts, the houses that were falling apart, and the sort of the village clearing, as it were, opens up in front of you and both to your right. Now, to your right, it seems to be where this big space extends to. in the very far distance, and I'm talking about as far away as that flashing light is from you, again about 1,000 feet, you see some sort of large manor house, dilapidated manor house looming at the very other end of the village. However, what jumps out at you are the two other scarecrows that you see about 300, 400 feet away. But other than that, the main item that comes to your attention is a house. Now, this house is coming to your attention because it's moving. It seems to be some kind of wooden hut, but somebody has built this wooden hut atop of a giant tree stump. And the tree stump is what's moving, and you can actually see its massive roots thumping on the ground as legs, as it almost spider-like is thumping in your direction. There is an open doorway on one side of the hut, which you can see, and right beside that doorway there's an upside down, hollowed out giant skull floating beside the doorway. Flanking the doorway are two iron cages that are sort of dangling from the doorway, and there are scores of ravens trapped in each of them, and they are squawking and fluttering excitedly as this hut begins to move. This hut is 500 feet away from you at the moment.
Run away!
It's definitely not on chicken legs.
No. But,
No.
it's there in that sort of zone.
Realm.
Yes.
What was the name? It was Mother Witch Baba. What was
Baba
it?
Lysaga.
Baba Lysaga. Kind of like Baba Yaga.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's just pure coincidence. So,
The second most powerful being in Barovia.
Master Sunna, you've
This
not
is a
quite
great
reached-
idea.
You could continue on your move and reach the scarecrow. You've moved about 40 feet to get this view. You've got another 20 feet to go in which you could reach the scarecrow, because your max distance is 60, isn't that right?
Yeah.
Is that what you'd like to do?
No. Actually, I'm sort of like I skid to a halt and go like, "Oh my fucking god!"
Have we ever heard Master Sunna swear like that before? I don't think so, right?
You have now.
So what's the plan, Master Sunna?
Run
away.
And cry. I only wanted to go home. Go back and I'm going to inform the others.
Okay. So the others are quite a distance away from you. Where you've stopped now, Kellen is the closest. He is still 80 feet away from you.
But he can't see the house that I
He
just
cannot
saw.
see the house, no.
Well, let me tell him then.
Okay, so you're just shouting, yeah.
I was just running back like, "There's a house, a moving house."
So you could run 20 more feet without doing anything, just using your normal movement. So you could run 20 feet back to him, or you could, I don't know if you're going to speed yourself up again, or...
No, because I have the feeling that I might need those
Okay.
checkpoints.
So do you run back that last 20 feet?
Yes.
Okay, so you are 60 feet away from Kellen. You can no longer see this house, but you obviously know that it was there, but you've just rounded the corner of the building again, and you have said to Kellen, there's a house. Yeah.
Get back!
Yeah.
There's a house.
Okay. There's also a scarecrow 40 feet behind you now as well.
See.
Okay.
There's a house. That's kind of an enigmatic warning.
I'm so good at scouting. I should always do that.
Yeah.
Do you haven't used your action yet, Master Sunna? Do you want to do anything?
No, not really. No.
Okay. Okay, so that's the end of your turn.
Yes.
Kellen, it's your turn. Master Sunna is 60 feet away from you. She's shouting
And she
something
just
about
screamed that there's a house.
Yeah.
Okay.
A bad house.
A bad house.
A bad house.
Because all the other ones look so good.
And that's saying something.
Well, I certainly trust my good friend Master Sunna, and if she is fleeing in terror from a bad house, I guess I'll continue running toward her.
Okay.
And can I also attack? Use my crossbow
Well, what's
against one of the.
what's your range on your crossbow?
It's a heavy crossbow, and I have no idea.
I actually have a wee cheat sheet here that tells me heavy crossbow range 100-400 feet.
Whoa!
But, I believe that there's a modifier if you're shooting it over 100 feet of something, which we've never done before because we've never fought at these amount of distances. Oh no, we're gonna have to cut this. I hate doing this so much.
You did a great job.
Is that...
Making it look easy.
I won't save anyone. Range. The normal
We're just
range,
dragging this
it's
out.
maximum range. When attacking, yes, you've got disadvantage. So if you're more than 100 feet away, you will have disadvantage.
Okay, so I am more than 100 feet away from the nearest scarecrow.
Well, if you run to catch up with Master Sunna, well, you'd actually have to dash to get to Master Sunna.
In which case, I can't attack.
Yes, but you could run 30 feet. No.
Okay.
Is it 40 feet? 40 feet. So you could run actually until you're 20 feet away from Master Sunna, and that actually means you'd be 60 feet away from the scarecrow, so you would be able to take your normal attack.
Perfect. That's what I'll do.
Okay, go for it.
11.
11 will actually hit it.
Okay.
That's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
5.
Okay, fine.
5 damage.
Okay. So yeah, your bolt embeds in it and rips a big gash in its sack. Okay. Lord Talfrin, it's your turn. So Kellen and Master Sunna are 50 feet ahead of you. There seems to be some kind of confusion about a house that's causing a bit of a debacle to occur. What's happening?
Well, I don't think I've ever seen Master Sunna this uncomposed. I don't know what the right word is. So I stagger to a stop. I shoot John a look of consternation. And I say, I'm going to take a look. And then I cast Fly, and I'm just going to fly straight up. The thinking being that this will, A, remove me from danger from the scarecrows, and B, if we do have to beat a hasty retreat, I don't have to worry about the scarecrows as I maybe throw fireballs at the house while you guys
Taking
run.
your friend with you, of course.
Do you know
Everyone in my bags of holding.
Do you know what your speed is while you're flying?
60 feet.
60 feet. So you're just flying straight up 60 feet, is that correct?
That's right.
Okay, so Lord Talfrin, you've got a pretty good view of the village. So you've got basically these stone houses that Master Sunna was standing close to. You can see that they are almost they used to form like the top curve of a circle of houses. Most of which have totally fallen apart in the town. About 750 feet south of the Master Sunna's houses that she's close to are the bottom ring of them. But you can see this massive moving house with its floating upturned skull head outside of it, tramping around, and certainly it seems to have noticed the disturbance you've caused because it's making off in the direction of where Master Sunna has just been running from.
Can I do a knowledge, history, or arcana check to learn and see if I know anything about this, or have I ever heard of legend?
Do you want to take a history check? Because you've looked at some books while you've been in Barovia.
All right, 18 plus 4 is 22.
Yeah, you've definitely heard that Baba Lysaga, part of the mythos surrounding her in Barovia, you've picked this up in the books you've looked at, in the various houses that you've visited while you've been here. And certainly there are... There have been stories about her flying around inside an upturned, scooped out giant's skull.
Oh, so she can fly too. Great. I'm really glad I got that Let's Go Barovia book.
Okay, I assume that's all your actions used up?
I will call down to Jean, who I believe can still hear me 60 feet away.
Yeah.
And I shout down, Baba Lysaga is coming. Hold your ground and wait for the others.
I would love a piece of lasagna.
Right.
throw it down to him.
Jean, it's your turn.
Oh,
You just heard about the lasagna.
okay. I'll tell the others.
Lord Talfrin is 60 feet above you. The
Yes.
others are 50 feet ahead of you.
Mm.
200 feet behind you is the tree line.
Only 200 feet.
Mm-hmm.
30 feet per play. I could be back by tomorrow. I think I will, I guess, run forward 30 feet to share this information with my friends.
Okay, so they are 50 feet ahead of you. You could dash and make it to them, but that would be the last action that you'd be able to.
I would probably get sick. I don't think I've dashed since grade school. I'll just walk at a kind of a a lope.
Okay.
Sort of jog you do across the street when a car's waiting. I'll do that. Sort of a shuffle. Yes.
You are now 20 feet away from your pals.
Yes.
Okay.
There is apparently a very bad pasta dish coming for us. So ready yourselves. I don't know what we should do.
Actually, out of character, everybody, do we want to try and fight this treehouse, or do we actually want to run for it? Anybody feel like getting in with Baba Lysaga?
I
never
think
wanted
we
to
run
come here.
for it. We run for it.
I mean, we kind of came here knowing she was here, right?
Yeah, we wanted to.
We didn't know she was a giant bad house, though.
She's in the house. I kind of feel like if we came to Baba Lysaga's turf and then we see her and run away, that's kind of paradoxical.
I think it's brilliant.
It is in keeping.
This is brilliant.
It is in keeping with our group, but should I try lobbing a couple of fireballs and just seeing how tough she is? Or what do we want to do? Run?
I don't
In
think
circles?
we lob a couple of
Why do you always start these discussions?
I would like to
What
delete
do
the
you-
last couple of episodes and just go back to the winery. I thought we were having a lot of fun.
Why did we leave?
Why did we leave? Someone gave away the wine. Yeah, it was awful. It was awful. I think we're going to die.
Again.
Yes, all of us. For
I think we always have that presentiment going into battle, though.
Yes.
So,
Well, we've been wrong so far.
so Jean, is that your turn? Is that right?
Yeah, I think that's the end of my turn. I don't know if there's anything else I can do.
Okay, that's fine. So it is. It's my turn. The scarecrows continue to run. They are all taking dash actions because none of them are quite close enough to reach. However, what that does mean, Master Sunna, is that the scarecrow that was closest to you is now up and in your face in melee combat with both you and Kellen. So you guys are now in melee combat with this thing, even though it cannot fight you. Now, 30 feet away from you guys is the next scarecrow, because it's obviously been dashing as well. And there's a similar issue with all the other scarecrows. They are a lot closer now. If you look behind you, in fact, the only view that you can have are these two: the one that's fighting you, and the one that is 30 feet behind it. Okay, so we're all a lot closer, a lot friendlier. There's massive thumping. Oh, sorry, Lord Talfin, you can see this. There are now 5 scarecrows in play, including the one that's now in with Kellen and Master Sunna, and you can see them all swarming towards them. You can also see this house almost dashing, if I could say, as quickly as it could in their direction. It seems to be moving at a similar pace to the scarecrows, so it covers a pretty good amount of ground there, about 60 feet, thumping away as buildings fall apart around it as it thumps. Lord Talfin, you're also aware of a swarm of flies, and flies are not unfamiliar to this marshy environment that you're in now, but this swarm is thick, and you can see it from this far away, and it exits the doorway of the hut and is now swarming around the flying skull that seems to be travelling along with the hut.
Whose idea was it to come here? This is only getting worse.
Okay.
I think it was everybody's idea but yours.
Top of the round, Master Sunna, you have a scarecrow in your face.
Can I shout down just reflexively, like what I see? Or
Yes,
is that
yes.
only on my action?
No, that's fine. Go for it.
Okay, so I relay that information. I bellow it down to them.
Okay.
There's a swarm of flies around the inverted, upside-down wooden skull. Make of that what you will.
We're very busy right now.
Okay. So, Master Sunna, you've got a scarecrow in your face. It has been partially pierced with one of Kellen's crossbow bolts. You're also aware there's another scarecrow 30 feet behind it.
I shall. So I draw my sword and commit to doing as much damage to the scarecrow as I possibly can.
Okay.
Okay, so that's 24.
24 versus AC will hit. What's your damage?
It's 6.
6.
Oh no, hang on.
16.
That's 7.
7. Is it slashing damage? Is that right?
Or piercing.
Piercing damage. Okay, that's fine. Yes, again, you managed to rip some more gashes along the hand, and magpie feathers fall out of it.
Magpie
do you have anything
feathers?
else? Do you have anything else to do?
I have my bonus attack.
Okay, go for it.
But is there anything else? No, I'll just do that again. Okay. Yeah, I'll just stab it again.
Okay.
That's 13 is 19.
19 will hit.
And it's 12.
12 slashing damage. Wow.
Yep.
Okay, that was significant. You rip a massive gash all along one of its arms, and it's an explosion of twigs, feathers, and straw. It's still standing, however. So these things actually, unless you're setting them on fire, they seem to be quite the combatants. So
the druids all over again.
I assume you're not using your move action?
No, I'll just stay here with Kellen.
Crit Faced is a weekly Dungeons & Dragons podcast. To make sure you never miss an episode, and to get an exclusive prequel episode of the podcast, where you can find out what our characters were up to before this adventure began, head over to critfacedpodcasts.com and join our Crit Faced fan group.